Totally knackered, been going for about 28 hours now. Broken, had probably 2 hours sleep between all the naps. Absolutely feel terrible, smell terrible. And another at least 20 24, 26 to go. And this Doha airport is absolutely stunning. It is so first class, it's crazy. These beautiful walkways and gardens inside here. Absolutely freaking magnificent. Look at these gardens and stuff, and waterfalls. Absolutely stunning. Unbelievable. So after a crazy reverse loop of flights from Grenada to New York, New York to Doha, Doha to Cape Town, and then finally Cape Town to Port Elizabeth, I eventually got back to the land of sunshine, and also the land of the longest and the best right-hand surf break in the world. It was great to be back home, back just in time for Christmas, and to spend some time with the family and just kick back and relax and just do nothing for a while. Absolute bliss. Hey guys, back in J Bay, back at the fabled Pepper Street. I doubt there are going to be too many cars in the car park, and yeah, we'll go and see why. It's definitely not winter time. Lots of visitors here and that, but yeah, lots of cars here, but all staying in accommodation. And I think most of the people here are just stopped over here to enjoy the view, because there's definitely no surf. It's a seriously different summer. We normally get a couple of swells, but it's been absolutely flat. It's not often that you see J Bay this flat. I mean, seriously, this is like super flat. It's barely breaking on the rocks, and yeah, it's been like this for the last 3 weeks since I've been back. Got back just before Christmas. So yeah, Merry Christmas to everybody out there. We're in the new year already, so an awesome new year, Happy New Year, and wishing you guys all the best. Thanks for following the sailing, the delivery that we did on Edisto. I know that wasn't exactly how I'd hoped it would work out. I hoped there'd be a little bit more adventure in it. It was pretty slow, and yeah, I know you guys have all said, yeah, it was still great to watch. Geez, it got really long in the end. It's the first Christmas I've been home since probably for the last 4 years, since before COVID. And yeah, it was great to get back, sort of get to meet up with the family, you know, just spend some family time and just chill at home. Yeah, I think it's the first time in about 3 or 4 years that I've missed putting out a video on a Sunday. But yeah, I guess it's Christmas time, and you guys are gonna have to cut me some slack for that. We've also had some interesting conditions. We've had howling onshores for the entire month. There's been no surf. The water has been absolutely freezing. Even went for a surf the other day at the point, and it was just so gutless. You couldn't even get the board to get going. So I've even upgraded to a fish surfboard, something I thought I'd never do. I've got a big fat little monster just for these like gutless days. There hasn't been any surf. I can see now that the water is getting a little bit of color in it now, so the temperature should be coming up a bit. It's been down in the 13 degrees Celsius, really cold. The fishing has been almost non-existent because of that. We did a little day out, I think, between Christmas and New Year with my son, and yeah, even though the conditions weren't great, we decided to go out anyway. The water was looking really cold, very chocolate and off color. But we decided to go out anyway and just go and check it out, just get out on the water. It was nice just to spend a day with my son. Yeah, it was good to get out, just check the motors and everything were running okay. And yeah, just have a look at what the banks look like down the beach. Things weren't looking great. So yeah, it was one of those days. The water was really cold, and the fishing showed it. Yeah, we went through all the spots, tried all the different places, and finally ended up towing some live baits down the back line. But yeah, the results were exactly what we expected. Yeah, the banks were very poor, and yeah, there wasn't any garrick on the back line due to the cold water. We only found our old usual suspects on the back line. And you dropped it?
No, I think he's coming
It's a shark. It's a shark. Put it up. Pull hard, pull hard, pull hard, pull. I don't want him to eat it. It's a freaking hammerhead. All they were just sharks swimming along the surface, which is typical of what happens here when the water's really cold on the bottom. The fish move out of the area, they go north. The big cob, they've been catching some decent cob up in the North Sundays River way on the Port Elizabeth side, with the odd fish coming out this side. So yeah, it's been a difficult time. I had all these plans to come back and do some vids on the fishing, but that hasn't materialized, and that's just because of the conditions, and that happens. This El Nino this year is pulled in a big way, and if you look at what's happening in California and that in the rest of the world, in the northern hemisphere, they're having an incredibly cold winter with big swell. And I think the end of last year here with those big swells that we had was just a taster of what's to come for the next 3 years. I'm sure that we're going to have an incredible winter, and so looking forward to it. I'm back in the gym. It's been really painful. It's probably our first time back in the gym in 3 years. Fitness levels have been like seriously bad, and yeah, I've made a full-on commitment to get back into proper shape so that this year when the surf comes we're ready for it. Yeah, and with the water warming up, I'm sure we'll get out on the Zodiac and do a bit of fishing. It's really starting to look a lot better now. It was like this khaki sort of really brown ice cold water. So yeah, the light southwest are blowing today, offshore wind, which is great, which is what brings up our warm water. So I'm sure that that's all going to improve, and hopefully we start this new year with a bang and get stuck into some fun things. It's been too much sitting in one place on a boat. Looking forward to being on land and finding some interesting things to do here. Yeah, you can also see how eroded the beach is. I mean, we've lost an incredible amount of sand after that big storm, and then obviously now with the small onshore conditions, it's chewed out the beach in a big way. I mean, I haven't seen the rock exposed like this. There's absolutely no sand in between any of the rocks here. At least our boardwalks have been built back again, and yeah, the guys have repaired. Yeah, the entire embankment is collapsed. We've got no more boardwalk. I mean, the damage is absolutely severe. It's great. That boardwalk's gone for a ball. Look at that cutout. Look how much sand has gone missing here. I mean, that beach was at the level underneath the boardwalks, and there's an incredible amount of sand that's missing. See, they've pushed up some sand under the boardwalk up there just to help it. But yeah, last year's swell was once in a lifetime. That'll happen again, but yeah, that was a special one. I'm glad I took the time to film it. You won't see that in a hurry, but wouldn't say it wouldn't happen again. But yeah, they've done the repairs, got everything back to square one again, get us ready for the winter. Hopefully we get some decent swells that'll bring some sand up the coast and deposit it back on the reef here. Otherwise we're going to be surfing a seriously barren reef area for the winter. You can see they've done the parapets and the, what do you want to call these embankments. They've rebuilt them up again, caged it. I haven't been to the other side, but yeah, they've done a lot of work to repair the damage. Now just look at this area here, man, it's been seriously hollowed out. There's absolutely no sand. The beach is probably half the size of what it used to be. You see they've replaced that with the steps down. But yeah, sad to see J-Bay so flat, but I'm sure it's not going to stay like that in the winter, that's for sure. Looking forward to it. You know, it's been flat when the bully is surfing the point. I never do. I had a surf the other day. I've actually gone and borrowed a little fat fish. So if you ever need anything in J-Bay, make sure you go down and see the guys at the surf shed. They'll help you out and make sure you're good to go. Because my normal boards with supers just won't work in this really gutless stuff. Just come down to the point to have a look at it. So down at the point, you can see how flat it is. Absolutely flat. I think there's one SUP out here. It's not often that you see the point like this with nobody out. It's there's a couple of guys here. SUPs. Super flat. They've rebuilt this boardwalk as well. There we are. Yeah, I was up at the Nexus factory the other day. I wanted to go and finish off our trip, and just to explain some of the stuff what I'd sort of come to see between the 620 or the 601 and the 526, just to explain some of the stuff and just see what I'd found was interesting sailing both the models. And yeah, I was going to do a follow-up on that, but the guys were so busy at the factory, everything is in disarray because they're just starting off again. and it was impossible for me to go and film anything there, but I'll do that in the week and we'll do a catch up on that, and I'll get that out as soon as possible. Yeah, so big apologies for missing out on this Sunday's edit. Yeah, we may just have to hang around for some surf and wait for the winter to kick in, and also for the guys to get back into work mode. Yeah, it's the beginning of a new year, and wishing everybody a freaking fantastic freaking new year. Hoping it's going to be a sweet ride down the new year. Hope there's a lot of gold in that skyline for you for the year. Looking forward to bringing you an interesting edit next week, so hang in there. And from the J Bay side, ciao for now until we see you next week. Have a good one. Cheers.